Are you a parent who flinches when their son plays with dolls or their daughter takes the truck for a run around the sandpit? There are those in the community who will throw their hands in the air at this announcement. Lego, the company, will remove gender bias from its toys, while others will celebrate the move. It follows a global survey the company commissioned, finding attitudes to play and future careers remain unequal and restrictive. Bronte Price is a workplace LGBTQIA plus inclusion expert. Welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Kim. How are you?
Yes, very well. So there will be people that will throw their arms up in the air and say, what's going on with the world? Then there'll be those who think it's a great move. What are your thoughts?
Look, I think that there's been work happening for decades around this stuff. And back in the 70s and 80s, I used to be a teacher, and we were having these discussions about stereotyping with the way that boys and girls play and the toys that they have and all those things, and how that influences later on their career choices and their subject choices at school as well. And, you know, lots and lots of work is being done right around the world by educational authorities and others. But we've still got people who believe that, you know, boys are boys and let girls be girls, and girls, you know, play with dolls and prams, and boys play with trucks, as you said, and cranes, and grow up to, you know, emulate their father or their mother. And that stuff is deeply, deeply ingrained, that those stereotypes still exist. But Lego now have for some time been trialling their toys on a gender neutral basis. So if you go onto the Lego website, for example, you can't search for toys by boys' toys or girls' toys. There's no such, you know, pairing anymore. So that's been a good move, except that this large piece of research that Lego commissioned has come back and said we've still got, the girls have taken up the mantle, if you will, and girls have become much more confident about playing with all sorts of toys and playing in different ways. Boys are still worried about the fact that if they play with what could be perceived by others as softer toys, girls' toys, then they'll be laughed at, they'll be thought of as, you know, being a bit soft, a bit weak, a bit of a sissy.
Yeah, let's look at that. The research found 71% of boys surveyed feared they would be made fun of if they played with what they described as girls' toys. I'm taking it you're not surprised by that figure, even though it's 2021?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And it's, I was thinking earlier, it's a generational thing, but it's much longer than generational kind of thing. And there are schools that have, as I said before, made massive strides in countering those stereotypes. But, you know, there are plenty out there who would say, oh, why can't we just go back to the good old days? And the good old days weren't good old days for everyone. They were good old days for, dare we say, cisgender, white, male, straight people. They weren't all that good for lots and lots of other people. And so this Lego move is, I think it's a move in the right direction, for goodness sake. I'm not sure why we need to gender toys. And if we do, you know, not only girls, but also boys, and in the long term, all of us, society misses out on having not necessarily the best people, the best minds doing the best jobs, which is what we want.
So are toys more powerful as training opportunities than people think?
They can be, and it's what you do with those toys as well. It's the play, and any junior primary teacher would tell you the importance of play. And you know, the kids will play out their family roles in the playground, and you'll see that in all sorts of ways in games that they just make up, for example. But it's also about carrying that further and ensuring that, you know, kids can be whatever they want, regardless of gender, and that they can follow whatever career, for example, they want. But that also moves into they can actually do the study, the subjects required to get to that career as early as junior primary, then into middle school and high school.